thought I'd show how one of these rotors is put together. There's 6 main parts to it. Well, a little bit more than 6, but mainly 6. This is the main thumb wheel, and what I have in here is, to join everything together, I have these little hex spacers that go into 3D printed holes, and the screws that go in from either side lock into those, and they pull apart to keep the whole thing together. This is the main thumb wheel, like I say. The holes here are where the springy pins will go, and there's a little piece here which is for the springy part that goes into the ring. So this piece here is the ring. This is what you adjust the ring setting on. That sits on here and rotates, and you can see the letters that I've printed, which were done as a 2-color print, where I printed it with the letters raised, and I basically stopped the printer at a particular point. I paused it and then changed the filament so it would print the letters out in black on the white background. And then these are just cut out and stuck into the outside of the ring here. Now the ring also controls where the notch position is. So this is the notch here, and this is how the multiple rotors, which all sit against each other, that's how one rotor causes the next rotor to move when it's at the appropriate point through this notch. So what I'm doing here is the ring rotates on here, and this is like a little locking spring that fits into small holes on the bottom there, and that stops it from rotating. So what I'm doing is just fitting these to the thumb wheels. So I have these small brass screws. These are 2mm screws. So these fit into here, and then it might be a bit tricky to see on the film, but in the back of the thumb wheel here there are actually little hex pockets which these nuts fit into. So they sort of push into there. I did a lot of experimentation to figure out how big I had to print things so that when they printed out they'd be the exact right size to hold onto to nuts and things like that. And so this piece here then just fits on there. So you screw that into place. When you 3D print holes, they come out a little bit undersized. So instead of trying to print them accurately, what I usually do is print them so they're undersized, and then run a drill bit through them just to clean up the holes. So you can see there that piece is now screwed on and it's flush with the back. This piece here is the ratchet wheel. So when the Enigma machine, when a key is pressed, there are little arms that come up and engage on this ratchet wheel, and that's what turns these round. So this goes on the back of the thumb wheel. You can see that I have numbered these so that I know which rotor is which. So this is number 2. Now there are 3 screws that hold this onto the thumb wheel, but because there are 3 screws there but there's 26 holes around the outside, there's actually only one position where all the holes match up. So you have to kind of align it correctly. And I know that where the lettering is at the top, the numbers, match up to where those screws are. So this sort of fits on here. I've got these little countersunk screws that go into there, and you can see the little thread inserts pressing out, but as I screw these in, they'll all pull tight. So they pull down. So we do these up tight. There's a little bit of wiggle room in there, so you have to get them centered, but it can all be adjusted later. So now we fit the ring onto here. So the ring goes on like that. The cover piece, I actually printed as 2 pieces. This one is slightly smaller than this one. So this actually fits inside the ring, helps keep it centered. this one goes on top of it, and that actually sits into a little ledge on there, and the ring rotates around that. So again, I had to figure out all the heights exactly so that this would work and everything would rotate freely. And again, with these, I have to line up the holes to get the screws in the right place. So let's just fit the screws through there. And now, this is the tricky part, is figuring out where this one goes. So when you look at it, there's one position where the screw is directly between two holes. I sort of consider that the top or the bottom, it doesn't really matter. And so as long as you lined it up like that, the 26 holes for the contacts will be in the correct place. So let's go something like this. Tighten these screws up. And you can see there's the spring, and that locks the ring in place. So to move the ring, you push down on the little tab, and then this can rotate freely. And there's just enough spring there that then locks back into place. And that's how you change the ring setting on the Enigma rotors. So you can see that locks in. I was looking at using metal for the spring, and then figured out, well, it doesn't actually have to do much, so I was able to 3D print it and get it all to fit. So that's the second of the rotors there. That just goes on there like that. It's a bit hard to see on this one, but I'll do another film when I've got it all working, but you can see how the outside of the ring there is the same diameter as the outside of the ratchet wheel. And that's how it manages to, one wheel manages to turn the other. It's to do with little levers that run along that edge and then drop into place when the notch is in the correct place. I can show how all that works later. But that's two of the rotors done. I just need to fit the spring to this rotor, but that's basically what the stack of 3 rotors will look like.